What's going on, everybody? Chrome on Rust here. We're going to be doing a gearing guide for the CM Wizard. We're going to want 35k life, 50 crit chance, 500 all resist, 4k armor, 800 life on hit, 2.3 attacks per second, 75k damage, and 19 APOC. Sold to the guy behind the computer screen. You are the winner, sir. Alright, but anyways, we're going to start off. We're going to want the Telrash's Relentless Pursuit. Now, on this, it's going to have attack speed. That's the real reason we're going for this. I wanted one that's going to have 70 vitality or higher and some decent armor on there as well. This pair that I just bought, it was actually the cheaper of the two pairs that were on there. It was better. It had 170 intelligence, so it's definitely an underpriced item. So I was really happy to go ahead and pick that up. Next, we're going to be going for the Blackthorn Pants. Now, Blackthorn Pants, they're going to have strength. They're going to have dexterity for some extra core stats, extra armor, extra dodge. It's also going to always have intelligence and vitality. And it has some life percent on there as well. But the real reason you're going to want Blackthorn Pants is for that extra life on hit. So you're not going to have to get it on your amulet or anything like that. So it's getting some life on hit on your pants is actually going to save you a lot for one of your amulets, or your only amulet, I should say. So I ended up finding that pair there. It has 470 life on hit, which is actually pretty high for some Blackthorn Pants. And it had decent armor as well. So I was happy to go ahead and pick that up. It wasn't like a steal or anything like that, but it was still pretty good priced. Next, we're going to be going for some boots. Now, I wanted at least 11% movement speed, 70 vitality, 70 intelligence, and 70 all resist. So I wanted the high all resist on here because we have been focusing on armor for our first two pieces. Now, I actually thought I was going to end up buying some Immortal King Strides. I just thought it was pretty funny because I have a barb. That's what I play mainly. So I was like, really? Am I about to buy Immortal King Strides? But at last, I didn't end up doing it. I ended up finding a rare pair that was similar to the Mortal King Strides. That pair up top, the Mortal King Strides, were pretty good. But this pair down here had 144 dexterity, so extra dodge is going to be really good because I'm not going to be able to get it on too many pieces. So we're going to be going for some bracers. Now, I actually thought about getting Lacunis, but I did a whole bunch of planning and I ended up finding out that I didn't need the 8 or 9 attack speed from Lacunis, and I really don't feel like CM Wizards are going to need that 24% movement speed. Now, I'm no CM Wizard expert. There might be some out there that say you want this 24% movement speed, but in my personal opinion, you don't need it. Most of their time is just spent like wormholing around, and then they might move a little bit so they can permafreeze something else. So I just go for some rare ones that are going to have pretty good all resist, 5.5 or higher crit chance. If I found some with 6 that had decent stats on there, I would go ahead and pick it up. I wanted some that had decent armor as well, so I ended up picking up that pair. It was like the highest armor pair on the auction house, and it had some decent stats as well. So I buy that out. We're going to pick up some shoulders. Now, 95%, if not more of the time, I would go for Vile Wards, but with the budget that I had set of 5 million, and I wanted to be able to farm on MP10 and everything with a 5 million set, I just wasn't going to be able to get Vile Wards. It was just going to push me out of that budget, and I really was feeling like I was stretching the budget to the max. So all those stats over there, the goals that I have listed, I was really trying to hit that with 5 million. I thought I could do it. I wasn't sure. This is actually the first CM Wizard that I have built, but I think I know enough about them that this is going to be a pretty decent set. So I am looking for some that are going to have armor on there, or some strength. Either one, it's not going to matter. 1 point of strength is going to be the exact same thing as 1 point of armor. So I found a pair that I liked, the Forbidden Blazons, but I wanted to throw on armor just to see what I could get, and I wanted to compare them. That's why I threw them in the chat box there. So I'm just kind of searching around, seeing what I can get. This pair was just posted, had some dex on there, some decent armor as well, but I was going to be saving a little bit with the ones that had the strength on there, so I do go ahead, end up buying that out. 50k less spent on a pair of shoulders is going to be more towards my weapon or my offhand or my rings, those really valuable things for a CM Wizard. So I wanted to get the Witching Hour. Now, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to push the budget up to 5 million. Now, I know I could have done it with about 4 million, but I would have been sacrificing like at least 10k damage. So the Witching Hour is going to be really good. The cheapest one on the auction house was 600k. Right now, I'm just searching for ones that have vitality or life percent or all resist or anything like that, because I did want at least one extra bonus stat on there. So Witching Hours are always going to have intelligence, so you don't have to worry about throwing that on there. And I did end up picking up that pair that had armor. It was only like 60k more than the cheapest pair in the auction house, so I was pretty happy to pick that up. I think the next cheapest pair that was listed up there was like 800 and something k. So it was a pretty decent deal, nothing crazy. And we are going to be going for a Stormcrow as well, just like the Blackthorn Pants. They're going to have the strength, the dex, intelligence, vitality. They're going to have the life on hit. They also have increased damage against elites and APOC, the arcane power on crit, which is going to be like one of the keys to making this build work. So I did find that pair there, or that hat there, that helmet there, whatever you want to call it. It was a pretty good deal, so I do go ahead and pick it up. Now this amulet, I didn't actually show the buying part because I was like freaking out. This amulet had just got posted. It was the only one for the results that I was looking for. I was looking for one that had vitality, crit damage, and crit chance, but this one actually had armor and intelligence on it. So I was like spamming buy it. It was a 1-day, 12-hour item, so I was really happy to get that. I knew if I didn't buy it, it was going to be selling. It's not like it's that great of an amulet or anything, and I just saved like millions of dollars or anything, or millions of gold, whatever. But it was still, I knew it was going to be selling, so I did want to go ahead and grab it up real fast. So we're at 1.63 million spent currently. Once I bought this out, we're almost up to that halfway mark for our gold spent. So we're going to be going for that Chantordos Force and Chantordos Will combo. I wanted to get one that was going to have either 9% attack speed or 10% crit chance. Either one, I didn't have to have both. I just wanted to be able to save a little bit on my gloves or my rings, wherever I was going to be getting that attack speed or that crit chance. Because you do want to hit that 2.31 attacks per second. If you hit like 2.29, it's not going to do you any good. You might as well have like 2.0, I think is the next breakpoint. So that 2.31, it was definitely a goal that I had to hit. It wasn't like something I wanted to hit. I had to hit that goal is the way that I felt. So I am just kind of searching around. I wanted to get one that kind of had like life on it or had vitality. Life's a little bit more underpriced, so I figured it was going to end up being life percent, and that's exactly what it was, because vitality ones, it was a huge gap in the quality of the item, so I ended up picking up the one with life percent. We're going to be going for some rings here. Now I had it all worked out where I needed like 4% crit chance and 7% attack speed on each one of my rings, and that was going to push me into that next, or into my 2.31 attacks per second. So I was just kind of looking around. I wanted to find one that had all resist on there, but I ended up finding this one that's going to have minimum damage as well, and it's only 200k. I was searching like for 400k, so I was like, I'm buying that one for sure. So we're going to be getting our next ring here. Now I'm not going to need all resist on this ring. I'm going to be trying to find one that has average damage, and since I saved that money on the attack speed, because I ended up finding a ring that had 8 attack speed instead of the 7 I was trying to get, so I'm going to drop the attack speed on this ring, and I'm only going to get 6. And I'm going to be looking for some other stat as well, whether it be intelligence or something like that. So I go ahead, I end up searching through them, and I find out which one's going to have the highest intelligence that I can get. And then I want to find the one that's going to have the highest average damage. So it ended up being the same exact ring, so I was like, that's the one I'm getting for sure. It was only been up for a couple hours, so it was a pretty good deal. Next, we're going to be going for some gloves. Now on these gloves, I needed 9.5 crit chance. Since I ended up getting the extra 0.5 on my ring, once again, I didn't need perfect crit chance on my gloves. So that was like great, because having 10 crit chance compared to like 9.5, sometimes you're going to find them for similar prices, but normally that 10 crit chance, since it is a perfect roll, they're going to be valued extra. So I ended up finding a pair, or I wanted to find a pair that was going to have vitality and intelligence as well, along with some all resist, so I'd be hitting that 500 all resist that I was trying to do. Like I said, I am trying to hit or be able to at least survive on MP10, so I do end up buying that pair there. And our last item is going to be the Chantordos Will. Now I had 1.265 million to spend on this. I was only trying to save $1 million, but I was really glad that I ended up having the extra 200k, because I am going to pick up one that has that costs 1.2 million. So I was looking for one that had crit damage, because I was pretty sure they were going to be cheaper, but I didn't want to just stop there. You do want to throw on has a socket just in case there's one that's like a really good deal, but the DPS difference was just a little bit too far. And on this build, I needed one that had 1.2 or the 1.65 attacks per second, the way I had it all planned out. So if you're going to build this set, you need 40 attack speed, and you're going to need one that has 1.65 attacks per second. The list of goals that I had set up, I was able to reach all of them except for one. And I stressed the number 1 because I missed it by 1 point. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? 1 point? I'll get to that in just a second. Like I said, that goal list that I had set up, it was keeping Paragon in mind, because I am level 48 and I know not everybody's there. So even if you're Paragon level 2, or if you just reached 60, the set is going to be able to work for you for farming on MP10. I made sure of it. I tried it all out. I didn't just want to come out here and say, hey, this set's going to farm you on MP10, but it really only farms you on MP7. Like, It'd be like, come on, guy, what are you talking about? This doesn't farm me on MP10. So I made sure it's going to farm me on MP10. But that one thing that I did miss was my all resist. If I were to take off my 144 intelligence from Paragon levels, I would have missed my all resist by 1 point. I was like, come on, 1 point, really? But it really doesn't matter. The goal list that I had set up, it's just something that you want to try to hit. It's not something that you have to hit. If you're a little bit below, it's still going to be working for you. And if you're above it, hey, great. So let's check out these stats here real fast. 4,341 armor. I'd be still over 4K armor, even without my Paragon levels. And if I wanted to hit that all resist mark, bang, bang, and boom. That'll more than surpass you over that 500 all resist mark. So a little bit of cheating, but you're going to have those 3 sockets if you do go with the Telrash's Relentless Pursuit. So our other stats here, crit hit chance, I was able to hit 50 right on the nose. All resist, I was able to break that 300 mark, got 19 APOC just like I was looking for. I was able to break the damage by almost 15k. If you were to ask me if I were going to break the 75k mark that I had set by 15k damage, I would have probably said no way. But I ended up doing it, so it is possible. You can get over up to almost 90k damage. If you spend some time, you'll probably be able to make a better set than I did. I didn't take a whole lot of time in building the set. I just made sure my attack speed and my crit chance and all that were on track for what I was trying to do. So right as that buying part ended, I was talking about attack speed. So with the way I built the set, if you're going to build it just like this, you're going to want a Chantota's Force that's going to have the 1.65 attacks per second, and then you're going to need 40 additional attack speed. On whatever pieces, it doesn't matter how you spread it apart, you're just going to want 40 additional attack speed. If you end up buying a Chantota's Force that has like 1.64, you're not going to be at that 2.31 mark. You'd have to get more than 40 attack speed at that point. So you might have to get 1 or 2 more points if you got one that was like 1.64. So I am going to be making a video more about a little bit in depth about the CM Wizard itself. I'm sure it's not going to be like a 3-part series like my Wrath of Berserker Uptime guide was, just because I'm not as versed in CM Wizards as I am in a Whirlwind Barb. So do stay tuned for that. And I'm Chrome on Rust for Core Expert Gaming. I hope you did enjoy. I'm out of here. You all have a great day.